Good afternoon, everyone. Excited to be on stage with you today. My name is Pyotr Fedchenkov. I'm co-founder of Insolar. We are the world's fastest blockchain for business. Today, I'll be talking about enterprise blockchain revolution and how to make blockchain applications a success. We live in a very complex world where each transaction has to be handled by a third-party intermediary. The reasons for that are that information is isolated and interactions are becoming as complex as they have ever been. This is why the high transaction cost is disrupting business value. Blockchain solves exactly this problem. It enables counterparties to transact directly without third-party intermediaries, even if they do not know or do not trust each other. Thus, blockchain has the potential to disrupt industries, to disrupt business models, and create a huge economic value for everyone. Leading global analysts are as optimistic as we are. According to IDC, in the next 2 years, 1 out of 4 large companies will be using blockchain as a foundation for digital trust. According to Gartner, in the next 10 years, $3.2 trillion of business value will be created by blockchain. So let's take a look how this $3.2 trillion of value will be created. And the largest source by far, according to Gartner, is intercompany interactions. This means helping businesses transact, helping businesses interact, helping businesses do good business together. And this is exactly what Insolar is helping. And this is a $1 trillion opportunity, according to analysts at Gartner. What makes blockchain different from other tech waves that it's one of the first smart networks. It doesn't only transfer information, it transfers value. And we expect a number of world's information networks transferred to blockchain over the next few years. And that's what we've seen. World's leading and largest companies, including many from Korea, have adopted blockchain, either through pilots or commercial deployments. And as we speak now, these companies are disrupting their competitors and gaining competitive advantage. Insolar has worked with hundreds of experts across the globe, CEOs, blockchain researchers, and business people, and we have identified the industries where blockchain disruption will come in the near term. These industries are supply chain and logistics, energy and electric utilities, natural resources such as oil and gas and metals and mining, and last but not least, retail and manufacturing. While we have identified over 16 use cases across these industries that will bring a lot of value to our corporate partners, I want to highlight the use case that we are particularly excited, called supply chain of information. Anything we touch, anything we eat goes through a very long supply chain. And it's especially relevant for countries like Korea, which is the manufacturing hub of the world. And today's supply chain is very ineffective. Blockchain has an opportunity to create end-to-end visibility throughout supply chain, make it a supply network where everyone has the right information about where the goods are, who paid for them, what happens next. And consumers have visibility into the origin and authenticity of goods. This has the potential to eliminate paperwork, overheads, and increase transaction cycles. With increased transaction cycles, companies can do more business together. This is just one of a handful of use cases that we really like and are excited about. Please check our website, insolar.io, which has way more information about these industries and how you could create value there. However, companies that adopt blockchain today face a number of challenges. Over the next few minutes, I'll talk about these challenges and how Insolar helps its customers overcome them and make blockchain application a success. The first challenge, of course, is technology performance. Each and every of you have heard that today's enterprise platforms have issues with scalability, with throughput. And that's true with Hyperledger, that's true with Corda, that's true with Ethereum. And this is one of the challenges that need to be overcome for blockchain adoption in business. The second challenge is blockchain complexity. Not only the technology is quite complex, it doesn't really integrate well with legacy systems of enterprises and enterprise data management requirements. And third challenge is lack of know-how and skills. Blockchain developers are scarce, they're expensive. Blockchain consultants are expensive as well. And companies, even the likes of Fortune 500s, have scarce resources to deal with that. The way Insolar helps with the first challenge, performance, is creating our own blockchain platform. The fourth generation blockchain, which goes well beyond the previous generations, from Bitcoin to the likes of EOS and Cardano, and helps enterprises scale, truly scale, and have a low cost of ownership of blockchain systems. I'll be talking about the technical benefits of our blockchain platform in a few minutes. The complexity issue we tackle through a multi-layered infrastructure of our platform. Insolar handles everything on the network layer, on the blockchain layer, allowing our customers and allowing third-party developers to focus on business applications and business services and do not think about the blockchain layer. We develop applications and services ourselves and also invite third-party developers to participate in that. The know-how challenge is addressed by our team, and I'm extremely proud of that. We are one of the largest blockchain teams globally. We are almost 70 people with 45 on research and development side. These are really some of the finest and smartest developers globally who come from the best European tech companies. They're supported by 10 researchers from leading global universities who help us with blockchain technical issues and who help us with use cases and adoption. Our team is global, based across Europe and North America. We have development offices in Moscow and St. Petersburg. We have a research center in Toronto. We do business development activities out of London, and we also have a research camp in Zurich, Switzerland. So Insolar is the most advanced, comprehensive, and the fastest enterprise blockchain globally. We have introduced a number of industry-first features that enable superior performance, and I'll be happy to run you through some of these features over the course of next minutes. Even before we started working on the platform, we had hundreds of calls with senior people from companies globally to understand what benefits they want from an enterprise blockchain. And the benefits that Insolar delivers are critical for the customers and impossible for our competitors such as Hyperledger or Corda to achieve. The first benefit, which is extremely important, is ability to grow your business network. And we achieve this through hybrid network approach, as well as the fact that we do not require you to run a node if you want to join our network. That helps us scale the network very fast. You could connect thousands of small companies and thousands of suppliers if you're manufacturers in a very easy way, unlike with Hyperledger, where everyone has to run a node and where the number of nodes is highly limited. Second is operational efficiency and cost of ownership. We have the lowest cost of ownership in the industry, in particular because we achieved linear scalability. Our transaction throughput increases near linearly with the number of nodes, and we have already broken 10,000 transactions per second. The third, and very important, is that Insolar integrates really well with legacy and current systems of enterprises, so it makes transition seamless and easy. So linear throughput, extremely proud of that. We launched our testnet yesterday and broke over 10,000 transactions per second, not just changing 0 to 1s, but on real smart contracts. This makes us the fastest blockchain for business ever made. This was on 20 nodes. We have oversubscription in terms of nodes, and we expect it to over 2,000 nodes in the coming month, which will lead us to 1 million real business transactions per second. One of the features that enables us to achieve this is something we call dynamic consensus. It's a very exciting feature. As all of you know, in Bitcoin network, the amount of energy that needs to be spent on the transaction is the same regardless of the size of the transaction. Business world is really different. A dollar transaction is very much different from $1 million transaction. In Insolar blockchain, if it's a dollar transaction, we use less validators to reduce the cost. If it's $1 million transaction, we use more validators to reduce the risk. And this is one of the ways how we address real-world business problems and how we achieve superior scalability. Also, we are not just a private network, we are a hybrid network, which combines the benefit of both private and public chains. The instances of Insolar blockchain could talk to each other, unlike, for example, Hyperledger, where each instance is isolated from each other. And enterprises might choose to run the instances on-premise, on third-party hardware providers, or anywhere in the world. Testnet. Extremely proud to be announcing Testnet while in Korea. We launched it yesterday. As I already mentioned, we broke through 10,000 real transactions per second, which makes us fast blockchain. And we are going forward with the development. In fact, we are #1 globally in terms of development activity. Insolar is above Zilliqa, Insolar is above EOS, Insolar is above 700 cryptocurrencies in terms of how actively we are deploying code and contributing to the blockchain community. Last but not least, INS coin, listed on BitHub and Binance. BitHub is one of the major exchanges for us with over $1 million of daily trading volume. INS coin is an integral part of our ecosystem. It's being used for payments, for staking, for voting, and for various incentive programs. We believe that by the end of the year, we will reach top 50 cryptocurrencies globally. Proud to be in Korea, one of the important markets for us, and which we hope to be our #1 Asian market. 1 out of 6 investors of Insolar is in Korea, and we have a Telegram channel in Korean, we have a website in Korean. Please check insolar.io for further details. While we're in Korea, we're also doing some sales and business development activities with Korean companies. If you're interested in successful blockchain applications, please drop us a note to business@insolar.io. We'll be happy to start a conversation. With that, thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful day.